back to chasing baseball's immortals. Today we're jumping into the late 80s, the height of the junk wax era, to spotlight one of the decade's most important rookie cards, the 1987 Donruss Greg Maddux. Overprinted or not, this card marks the beginning of a Hall of Fame career built on precision, intelligence, and absolute mastery on the mound. Let's get started. Greg Maddux, born April 14, 1966, and known as Mad Dog and the Professor, spent part of his childhood in Madrid, Spain, before his family settled in Las Vegas. There he and his brother Mike, who was also a professional pitcher, trained under coach Ralph Metter, who preached one core principle: control over velocity. That lesson became the backbone of Maddux's career. After starting at Valley High, he nearly chose college ball before being drafted by the Cubs in the second round of the '84 draft. He debuted in 1986, took his early lumps, and finished 1987 at 6-14. But those struggles sharpened his craft. Over the next 2 decades, he'd win 4 straight Cy Young Awards, top 300 wins, and redefine what pitching intelligence looks like. Greg Maddux's 1987 Donruss rated rookie card shows a young Hall of Famer mid-windup, complete with the rarely seen mustache he'd soon leave behind. The bold black borders frame the shot, and the classic rated rookie logo adds the perfect touch of the 80s hoppy nostalgia. Like most cards from the junk wax era, Maddux's rookie isn't rare. More than 40,000 copies have been graded by PSA and SGC combined. That abundance keeps prices modest, despite his legendary career, making it one of the most successful Hall of Famers in the hobby. A PSA 8 often sells for around $11. PSA 9 sets near $30, and even a PSA 10 typically lands around $300. For my collection, I have a number of Maddux cards. First is the card in discussion, which is a raw copy of the '87 Donruss. I don't have no idea when I got this, probably early 2000s or 90s in childhood. It may be gradable, but centering's off, top to bottom, so I don't think that one would be worth grading. Then I have this PSA 9 copy. I believe I got this a few years ago, $25. It's a nice copy. I don't think I'll upgrade to a 10, just the value proposition isn't there for an '87 Donruss for $300. So this will suit my needs in my collection. For his '87 Donruss, I also have a couple others, which include a raw copy of '87 Topps Traded. Now this one's in fairly good shape, maybe gradable, fairly well centered, a little bit of a rough edge on the left here, but nevertheless a nice card. And one of the very first cards that I got when I got back in the hobby, went to a card show with my son. I picked up this Fleer Glossy. I think I overpaid for it, but still a Maddux rookie, a fairly rare one. More rare than his Topps or his base Fleer, but it's PSA 8. And then the last Maddux rookie I have is the 1987 Topps Tiffany. I figure given the mass production of these cards in the junk wax era, I wanted something with a little more rarity. The Tiffany provides that for most of the late 80s cards. And if you needed to note the difference between the Tiffany and the traded, is you've got the 2 stars here on the traded. Tiffany doesn't have those 2. Also, the back on the Tiffany is a little wider than the base level traded. But that concludes my Greg Maddux collection. Maddux has a huge catalog of cards. but there are a few that seem to stand out. His 87 Topps rookie is a hobby staple with PSA 10s, costing around $100, while the scarcer Topps Tiffany version can approach up to $1,000 for a PSA 10. He's also featured in the 1983 Topps Finest set, which includes the coveted Refractor series, with only 228 graded, and even PSA 8 selling for over $1,000. And don't overlook the 87 Leaf rookie, nearly identical to the Donruss but far rarer, with a PSA population of about 13% of the Donruss issue. Maddux was one of those players I got to watch when I was young. I remember thinking how improbable his performance was and how unlikely we would ever see his level of pitching mastery again. Fortunately for collectors, Maddux has a wide array of cardboard to choose from when adding to your collection. In my next episode, I'll step back to 1911 and take a look at the T205 Zach Wheat, the first true superstar in Brooklyn baseball history. This stunning gold-bordered set is often overshadowed by the legendary T206 set, but for collectors, that means an incredible opportunity to pick up a beautiful pre-war Hall of Fame card at far more reasonable prices. Don't miss out into the deep dive in one of hobby's most underrated gems.